Let's have a convo. Hashtag relationship goals. We can talk about what we've been through. You can learn from me. I can learn from you. You can learn from me. I can learn from you. Hey guys. Oh my gosh. It has been a long time since I recorded an episode. Actually, I'm lying. I record episodes sometimes, like far and few in between, and I just don't post them. So like, for example, I have a couple in the draft on this device, and then my laptop crashed, and I had a couple on my laptop that I never got to edit or upload, and then it totally crashed. So that's footage that will never be heard. Definitely cried about it, but I'm over it now. Hi, how are you guys? How are you guys doing? Oh my gosh, I have been up to so much. I've just been doing so much, but I think I am going to focus on red flags this episode. Yep. We're going to be talking about red flags, okay? Red flags. So as you guys know, or if you don't know, if you haven't been listening to this podcast, and you're new, welcome. But I recently kind of sort of moved out to Georgia, close to the Atlanta area. I say kind of sort of because I am here, but nothing is permanent. But I've also been here for about 2.5 months. So we'll see. Since I've been out here, I have been on 3 or 4 dates. I think it's been 3 dates. I've met 3 new people. Let's go through this quickly. So the first person was a Virgo. Very cool. We actually went on, I think, 3 dates. The first date, we went out to eat, and then we went to the gun range, and then we hung out after that. The second date, I think we went to this event called Rum Punch Brunch. She met me there. I was there with my cousin and her friends. So I guess that's not really a date, but we hung out. She took me out to eat that day too. And then we went to the movies. With that, I just feel like there's more of a friend chemistry. And I definitely had that talk with her to let her know gosh, not that I was putting her in the friend zone. Yeah, I was definitely putting her in the friend zone, but not like that. You know what I mean? Just pretty much let's switch this from romantic, because we had one kiss. It wasn't that bad, but I think the kiss is what solidified yeah, this for me needs to be more platonic. So yeah. Another date I went on this date with this Sagittarius woman. We were talking for a couple weeks, and it was good banter. It was good conversation, but we went on the date and I just was not feeling it. I don't think she was feeling it too, because we mutually ghosted each other after this date, never to be heard of again. And it wasn't a bad date at all. We laughed, we had good conversation, the food was really good. It just wasn't what I was looking for, and I guess it wasn't what she was looking for, because we both was all right, bye. And that was that. And then lastly, most recently, I went out with this Gemini that I've been talking to for a couple weeks. And we have good conversation as well. I'm just really trying to figure out, what I know what I'm looking for, but also I'm not trying to force anything, if that makes any sense. But I want to talk about the red flags because There wasn't any really red flags. There wasn't any real red flags that I saw with the Virgo that I went on 3 dates with. I wouldn't say there was red flags. But this Gemini, honey, let's talk about it. First red flag. And I'm proud of myself because usually, you see these things and you're like, oh, I'm going to keep, I'm trying to get to know this person. You kind of push it to the back of your mind. I don't know if that's y'all, but that's what I do. Because my last situationship, the flags were brighter than red. Okay, I don't even know a color that's brighter than red. The flags were on fire. Let's say that. And I thought I had an extinguisher. I don't even know what I thought I had. I thought I had the suits that the fire people have, because I just ran right in full force. And looking back in retrospect, like, oh my gosh, those flags were on fire. What is wrong with me? I saw them. I acknowledged them. I think I even told my friends about some of them, and they were looking at me crazy. And I was crazy, dangerously in lust. So that's how that went. But that is the past. We are talking about the present. And so on and so on. So pretty much the first thing that I noticed that was a little was I had went on a retreat recently, and I didn't really have that much service, but we were like texting. No, let me back it up. Yes. Okay. Unsolicited FaceTime call. So if I give you my telephone number, which is rare, and you just think it's okay, we never met or anything like that, to just FaceTime me like out of nowhere, like, I pushed it to the side because, like, there's a lot of catfishing still happening these days. I know it's like rare. Actually, it's probably not rare, but there's a lot of catfishing still happening these days. So I'm like, okay. I mean, I think I texted her like, I'm in the dark laying down, so I don't know, like, if this FaceTime is going to be productive, but I guess I'll answer if you're just trying to see if I'm a real person or the person that, if I look like my pictures online or whatever. But the unsolicited FaceTime call, I wouldn't say it was a big red flag, but it was just like, okay. I mean, you could definitely text somebody like, hey, do you want to have a FaceTime call on such and such day or at this time? Or if you're not busy, like, but, a heads up would be nice, not just like FaceTime. So that was like, okay. And then while I was on the retreat, I wasn't really texting anyone that much because I'm on a retreat. I'm trying to relax. I'm trying to, become one with myself and be in nature and do all the things that you do on a retreat. So I did end up texting this Gemini a little bit, and I guess I wasn't texting back fast enough because I remember one of the texts she sent me was like, hello, I just asked you a question. You didn't answer. And I mean, you can't really sense, like, it's hard to sense someone's tone through text. That has been like something that everyone has struggled with. So, but I just didn't like the tone that I perceived through text, because it was kind of like hello, like a rushy type thing. Like, I asked you something, I texted you, how come you're not answering? That was already like, no, this is I don't like this trait. This is not cute. This is not cute at all. She did tell me that she was a little bratty, and she did tell me that she was a little needy. And those are kind of like traits that I don't do well with, because I am like a person who just moves to the beat of their own drum. And I'm not saying in relation I don't, change a little bit as far as how I move, but especially not just meeting someone. I'm not going to be like giving you all of my attention and yada, yada, yada. Like, that's not really how it works with me. So she may have said that she was, bratty and needy, but you can't just be on my telephone texting me, talking about some hello, you didn't answer the question I sent you, da 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 da. Like, wait a minute, why am I sensing urgency? Oh, why am I sensing an attitude? Like, yeah, no, not okay. So that was like red flag number, we'll do 1.5. Because the first thing I said, it wasn't really like a red flag, but it was just like, eh. And so this was like, I remember even showing my friend in the car when she sent the text, like, you see this? This is not going to work well for me because I don't do this. So moving on to the biggest red flag of them all, y'all. Of them all was finally we met up and hung out. I wouldn't say it was a date per se, because we just kind of like went for a walk in the park, which yes, it can be a date. So yeah, I will say it was a date, but it was like our first time meeting up, and we had like been texting and talking on the phone and FaceTiming for a few weeks. So it was nice to like hang out in person and see if the chemistry, so you'll call it, is like there. Because you really can't tell over the phone or FaceTime if there's chemistry. Like, you can't tell. You really have to be in a person's presence to really receive their aura. So it was cool. We had a good time. Like, great conversation. It was flowing. She was really kind. She was funny. We were laughing. It was good. Right? Boom, bat, boom. Hung out for like maybe an hour and a half. Cool. I get back to the place where I reside, and I think I called her to tell her I was there or something like that, and she didn't answer and was like, I'll call you back. Now, since we've been like talking or whatever, she'll usually like, well, she has in the past picked up and said like, hey, I'm doing this, whatever. I don't know if you want to like talk later, but we can talk later. But this was like the first time she like forwarded my call and was like, I'll call you back. So I don't know if it's just me being a suspicious person, because I'm always suspicious, which is crazy how I get like caught in half the stuff that I get caught in, because I'm usually like side eye, halfway closed, like to everything. Kind of just like, I'm just so skeptical. I just like, So I remember feeling that feeling like, it wasn't that it was a bad thing that she forwarded my call and said she was going to call back, but it just seemed off from what she has shown me. Right? Okay, cool. Moving on, literally like a minute later, I get a call from a strange number that I don't know. And it's a woman, and she's like, hello. And I'm like, hello. And she's like, did you just call this number? And I'm like, no. And she's like, are you sure? And I'm like, I'm positive. And she's like, oh, and kind of hesitated. And I was like, and then I hung up, right? It was a number from here, from Georgia. So I immediately hit up the Gemini, and I was just like, I just got a strange number call me, and I don't know anybody from here. So that was weird. But a part of me feels like it has something to do with you. And I can't really remember her response, but I think she was kind of like, me? Why would it have anything to do with me? And I was just like, because I just called you and you didn't answer. And then I got this call. So I don't know, but it just doesn't make any sense to me. And she tried to be like, well, haven't you been applying to jobs and whatnot? Maybe it was a job calling. I was like, you know what? Maybe it was a job calling. Maybe I'm just being like extra in my head. Like maybe I'm just trying to put 2 and 2 together, and there aren't even 2 2s. I'm just doing too much, right? Okay, cool. So I had the feeling, but I kind of like brushed it off, and I'm like, whatever. The next day comes, and we're talking. She said that she was like gonna go to like a family gathering somewhere close by to where I'm staying. And then I jokingly was like, oh, you know, like, I didn't get no invite. And she was just like, oh, let me find out you're inviting yourself. That's the type of woman I like. I like aggressive women like that who's just going to invite themselves. I'm like, no, that's actually pretty scary and not okay. Plus, I was just joking. But like, that's interesting to know. And something told me to bring up the phone call again. Like, I don't know if this was, I don't know what little voice was in my head or in my body, but it was just like, bring up that phone call again. Like, just bring that phone call up again. So I'm like, yeah, I still think it's really weird, that call that I got yesterday, like when I called you and you didn't answer, and then I got the call right after. So she's like,